Hey guys, welcome to this live. I am Ram and I'll be the one taking live today. So guys, today's topic is career path for software engineers. So I know a lot of you are sitting there thinking, I need to become a software engineer, or I want to switch domains to become a software engineer. So I have made this live session for you guys just so that you can understand how you can choose and become a software engineer. What kind of career path you can choose. So guys, before we go ahead with that, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of our future updates. We have a lot of content we put out, a lot of free content we put out. We have a lot of things that are just not just software engineering related. We have like SAP, stuff. We have data science. We have business intelligence. A lot of things we put out. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any of our amazing content out there. Also, guys, I know all the regulars already know this, but all the newcomers, I have a surprise for you. So if you guys wait till the end, you'll get to know about it. All right, now let's take a quick look at our agenda today. So the first thing we'll discuss is, or basically we'll have an introduction to what software engineering is. We'll discuss what it is and how it is so powerful in the industry these days. Then we'll discuss why it is necessary. Why do we need to know about software engineering, or why do we need to get into it? Then we'll discuss all the different various roles there are that you can choose. Then we'll discuss the learning path you'll need to take to become a software engineer. Then we'll discuss the salary. That's the most juiciest part because the software engineer earns a lot, and we'll discuss that when we get to this particular part. And finally, we'll discuss the further learning. What are the steps you can take to become a better software engineer? All right, guys, let's start off by having an introduction to what software engineering is. All right, you know how important electricity is, right? These days. Now, electricity, was not invented, maybe discovered back in like 100 years or 120 years back. And it was one of the biggest advent of technology in our lifetime. And because of, electricity, we got a lot of new inventions that help make our life more comfortable. Similarly, when internet started, internet, created a lot more opportunities for a lot more people. And when you combine electricity and internet, you get a lot of different use cases and applications. So software engineering is basically creating software to fulfill the needs of a lot of people. Now, basically, like how I talked about internet and electricity, they solve a lot of problems, make our life more comfortable. Software also makes our life comfortable. Day to day, you interact with a lot of objects that have software in them. Your mobile has so many apps. It runs on an operating system. All of it is software. Your system, the PC you use, it has software in it. You're searching, you're going to the web browser, you're playing games. All of it is software. And in one way or the other, it helps you to maybe, make you feel less stressed or do your job or maybe make your life easier. And that's why software is just so important. It has just so many uses. I can't even list them. But if I had to list, I would go ahead, I would say games, I would say browsing the internet, I would say, doing a job, in the industry itself, you have so many uses there. In the industry, you have to make software for business. You have to make software for customers so that they can, use your particular service. There are so many uses out there. And that is why software engineering is very important. Because in software engineering, you're basically using a lot of different scientific principles, methods, and procedures to make very good software products. And these software products are going to make humans' life much more easier. Now, software engineering can be comprised of software development, software design, and programming. So you have your software development, which is the core part of it. But then it envelops software design, where you have to design the software, which again envelops programming. So at the core, you have programming that you have to learn to get into software development. So you have your first requirement over here to become a software engineer. You need to know programming. Well, not necessarily a particular language. You need to know the fundamentals of programming, how it works, and how you can utilize it to make amazing software. So that is the introduction to software engineering. It is basically, a set of principles, methods, and procedures that is used to create amazing software. So now, why software engineering? Now we've discussed that software, causes basically has a consequence of making our lives easier, and that is why it's also important. But why should you choose software engineering? Now there are so many fields. You can become a chartered accountant. You can get into medicine. You can become a historian, you can get into the government, some kind of government job. There are so many different fields you can get into. But why software engineering? Now, you already know that the trend of the past 20 years is that everyone takes computer science in college and tries to get a job, because computer science has so many utility and it's such a new field that, new jobs keep propping up. So new opportunities keep propping up. And this way people get more jobs and they get paid and they can live a proper life. And that's why people choose software engineering, because it gives you an opportunity to lead an amazing life. And software engineering basically has overall effect of becoming better and allowing people to earn more and more, even more. As you can see, like, the market will have an accelerated growth of this at CAGR or over 4%. CAGR is basically compound annual growth rate. So it basically shows that there's going to be a lot of growth in this particular field. So if you're choosing this field, you're making a very wise decision. All right, so there's going to be a lot of growth. Your incremental growth is going to be $80 billion. The industry is going to be an $80 billion industry by 2022. Now, you mix software with hardware and you get $1 trillion industry. Like, if you take an example of Apple. Now, Apple sells you phone, but it sells you overpriced phone. But because it makes amazing software. It makes software so good that you want to go and buy their phone. And not just phone, they have a lot of other things also that they sell you. And they are a $1 trillion, company. Their worth is $1 trillion. Not just Apple, you have so many companies like Amazon, you have Flipkart, Walmart, you have Google. Google is one of the biggest, software company out there. So all of these companies have projected growths, amazing projected growth. So if you go ahead and join them right now, you have amazing prospects. You can become, you can do a lot of things in future. You can make a lot of change. And it doesn't matter what kind of field you choose, because almost every field inside of software engineering has a lot of growth percentage. Almost every IT field out there has at least 8% of growth percentage. If you're choosing, suppose you're going to game development, or you're going to web development, you're going to back-end development, or you're going to become a data scientist, or you're going to become an OS developer, or an Android developer, iOS developer. There's so many fields out there. If you're going to be a server admin, or infrastructure admin, or a DevOps engineer, there are so many fields out there, and almost all of those fields have a very high, predicted growth rate. So it doesn't matter what you choose, just choose one and go ahead straight with it. And again, the demand is very high for these kind of jobs. Now, what is a basic job? A basic job is basically problem solving. We have problems in life. To solve those problems, we do a job. Similarly, even in the software industry, you have problems. And to solve those problems, you have to come up with solutions. That's the basic premise of any job. And in software engineering, if you're very good at problem solving, then there is a very high demand for you, because you're basically solving a problem. Let me give you an example. Now, maybe I want to, there's a problem in my local community. And to solve that problem in my local community, suppose the problem is that, they're not getting enough water. They're not able to share the water among each other. So to solve that problem, I come up with an app that basically lists down which all people don't have water, how much water do they have. And this way the government knows who to give water to. It solves a problem. Or again, as a UI developer, suppose you're making user interface, you're working on the front end. Your job is to make the experience or make the user interface very friendly for the customers or the client to use. And that way you're solving that problem. You're making it more comfortable for people to use. So basically, there is a very high demand for people who can problem solve, and especially in the software engineering, industry. So that was why software engineering. Now let's go ahead and discuss what are the different various roles you can choose as a software developer. Now remember, there's so many domains inside of software development that you can choose. Like so many different domains, and some overlap, some don't. And it's on you to decide what you like and then pursue it. Because guys, remember, salary does not matter that much. It's about satisfaction in life. And doing a job gives you satisfaction. Obviously, it'll give you a lot of money also. And I understand that a lot of people are thinking, okay, this is not true. I want to earn a lot of money so I can make my family live a more comfortable life. But at one point you'll understand that I need some satisfaction also. So when you're choosing a role in software industry, try to choose a role which you like instead of looking at the money, because almost every field in the IT industry or in the software industry will make you earn a lot of money once you go to that particular height. If you suppose you choose, and let's take an example, you have a front-end developers. As a front-end, you started off as a front-end developer, you're not earning that much, but you're earning enough. But in after 10 years you'll be in a very high position. Maybe you'll be a manager, or maybe you'll be working as a CTO, chief technology officer, and at that point you'll be earning a lot of money. So it doesn't matter where you start off from, but make sure that you start off from a position, or start off from a particular job where you like the job. Don't choose a job which you don't like. You don't do it just for the sake of money. Maybe in extreme cases, yeah, but just try to look for something that you like. So let's start off by discussing the different various roles, and we have the front-end developers. So as a front-end developer, basically you'll be creating the front end of a website. Now, as a customer, as a client, whenever you go to any website, right, you look at the website and you see that there are so many functionalities on the website. I can submit button, I have so many images, so much content is being displayed. All of that is done by front-end developers. They try to make the client side, that is the the one that we are facing as users, very beautiful, very aesthetic, and very user-friendly. So that is their job, and they do this using a lot of multiple languages that are available out there. You have your like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, and all the different frameworks that you can use to make front end. So that is a front-end developer. Then you have game developers. Now this is a bit abrupt, but game developer is one of the most important fields out there. Like because games are life. They make you, reduce your stress. They increase your motor skills. They basically give you a lot of entertainment value. I mean, in India, the industry might not be as developed right now, but it has a lot of prospect, because a lot of us out there are gamers. We are all gamers. We want to game, we want to enjoy and release stress, etc., etc. And that's why game developer is also a very sought after job, because a lot of companies, like you have your Electronic Arts, or you have your Ubisoft, you have your 2K games, all those people who make like really big games, they look for people who can develop software, who can work with different gaming frameworks or gaming engines like Unity, Unreal Engine, CryEngine, Corona SDK, Spirit Kit. Or if you want to become an indie game developer, then you need to know all the different, like you need to know Unity, or you need to know Unreal, or you need to know how to use Game Maker engine. All of these different engines, you need to work with them, you need to practice with them, and then you need to make a game out of it. So, you can use these different frameworks to make different games, and then choose which particular company you want to go to and see what kind of engine do they use, what kind of requirements do they have, check those out, try to learn them and go there. Now, game developers again will be, developing software, that is, coding and making the game. So that's why it's a part of the software engineering field. Then you have backend developers. Now, I talked about how it was abrupt. It was abrupt because I went from front end to game developers, but here comes backend. Now, backend is also important. It is very important for a website to have, or even an app to have. Backend basically has the logic or the functioning of the website. Suppose you go to a website, you go to Amazon, and you save particular items to your cart. Now, on the front end, it shows you that they're being saved, but where does this logical functioning happen? It happens in the backend. The backend, basically takes what all the requirements you have, and then, puts it in the cart, and it integrates with the database to do the same. As a backend developer, you'll be working behind the scenes of the particular web application or a particular app. And the developers who are web backend developers write code for the server-side development. They focus on manipulating the database, different kinds of APIs, and the architecture of the whole system. That is their job, to design the architecture, design the code, and script, manage the APIs, manage the databases. So that is the job of a backend developer. And then you have application developers. Now, application developers is a very general term, but if you're basically making software for people to use. Now, front end and back end is basically for websites, but you have your application developers who are making apps. Like you have your apps like on your computer. You have an app that calculates for you. That calculator is an application. Now, so app developers will be basically making these apps so that they have some kind of utility for either users, the customers, or it can be a B2B kind of agreement also. Because a lot of companies, a lot of consulting companies out there, or normal companies also, make applications that are not for customers to use or the normal everyday individual to use. They are for the internal company itself. They make software for themselves. So suppose you have a company that delivers food and they have a warehouse to deal with, and they have people who work in the warehouse, the operations team. They want to make sure that they're getting the purchase order, they're getting the orders here and there. So how do they manage all of this? So they need an app for that, and that is the problem. They don't have an app because they're not able to manage. They don't want to do it in old style using a book. So they ask the software development team to make an app for them, and this is the like an example of an app. So you're making an app for internal purposes also, and you can make it for customers also. And such developers make use of languages like Java and C++ and Oracle, and all of these languages can be very important. As a fresher, you must at least know one of these. You should know Java, C++, or you should know Python. So if you're a fresher, or if you're a person who's coming into this domain completely new, make sure you know one of these languages, because if you're going for any interviews, they'll ask for some kind of background in some kind of language. If you're completely new to coding or programming itself, try to go and watch a video on how to start coding. I have an excellent live that tells you what to do in that also. I would suggest give a brief summary of that. Is basically choose Python. Python is a very good language to start with, if you're especially getting into coding, and especially if you want to become a software engineer or software developer. Then you have data scientist. Now, data scientist is like a very big buzzword, very popular buzzword that is being used in the industry out there, because data scientists have a very important job. Their job is to basically take the data, understand it, get some meaningful insights out of it, and represent that data and give it to business managers or business analysts so that they can make meaningful decisions for the companies. And it is very highly paid. And but in this field, you're not developing software as so much, but you're still doing some part of that job. And here it's more about analyzing data. So it's not as related to software engineering, but it's still there. Then among other fields there are out there is automation engineer, where you have to make automation scripts for particular things. There are so many use cases even there. And then you have embedded system developers. If you have to connect your hardware to the software, then you need to code in your hardware. IoT things, Internet of Things. Suppose you have like Alexa, right? Alexa is like a physical thing, and it's got integrated circuitry inside of it. But how do you code that so that it works? And that's where your embedded system developers come in. They code there. And then you have your OS developer. That is basically operating system developers. You have your Windows, you have Ubuntu, you have Android, you have iOS. So who makes these software? Who makes these operating systems? So there are OS developers also who do this. So their job is to basically make a really good operating system so that other people can work and make better software, or generally just use it. So guys, these were the different domains that you can choose. These are not just, you're not just limited to these domains. You can go to Google, look for a lot of different domains that you want to choose them, see how you like them. If you like them, then go ahead further with it. And that brings me to the point here, that is the learning path. So if you want to become a software engineer, what kind of learning path can you take? So let's go ahead and discuss that. You have your overview. You have your learning path. So in this learning path, we'll be basically discussing a lot of things. First, we'll discuss exploration, then problem solving, then various tools, domains, implementing solutions, tools and techniques, and certification. So let's go ahead and discuss all of them one by one. So in a step one, we have explore all the different aspects. Like I just said in the previous topic, you have to go ahead and look for yourself, discover what you want. Go where you're interested in. So first you have to decide, what role am I interested in? You just saw a lot of different various roles that I described to you, all the different domains that you can choose. Try to look at them, see if you like them. If you like them, then go ahead with that topic. Try to make a small project, start learning about it. And then, you slowly, you'll know a lot of knowledge. You'll get a lot of knowledge in that particular domain, that particular role, and you can apply for a job with it. Then you have to see how easy is the new concept to learn. You decide what kind of role it is. Then you decide how easy is it. Is it easy for you? It depends all on how much time you have. If you're still in college, you still have a lot of time. So check out how easy is it, or maybe are you interested in or not. Then explore all the tools and get a basic understanding of all those tools. Maybe you have a particular language or particular role you're interested in as a front-end developer. So you have to see all the different tools you'll need. What kind of, if you need GitHub, or if you need integrated development environment, those kind of tools. Check that out. Then share your learning among your peers and other learners. So this is very important. Talk to people. Don't just rely on internet. Yeah, internet is amazing, but talk to your peers also. What do they think? So you have to balance these things out. Understand what your peers say, understand what kind of opinions you're getting from internet, mix them all together, bring your own opinions in, and then choose, explore. In the next step, talking about problem solving interest. So as a software engineer, you'll need to, be a problem solver. If you can tell your employer that you're an amazing problem solver, they'll give you an amazing salary. So you'll need, as a problem solver, you need to, able to find problems. And then you'll have to formulate the problem, break it down to simple problems. So if you have a big problem, break it down to smaller problems, solve the smaller problems first, and then move on to the bigger problems. Find a solution. Whenever somebody presents a problem to you, don't ask them another question on it. Try to find a solution for it. If you're able to find a solution for it, then they'll look at you and they'll be like, oh, this guy's amazing. He's able to find a solution for my problem. And then they'll, give you better pay, treat you better, give you more respect. Implementing a solution via BI tools to solve problems. So, you can use business intelligence tools out there to solve your problem also. That is another smaller aspect. And then verify if the problem is solved or not. So all of this is, involved in the whole problem solving. So you should have an interest in problem solving. Then step 3, find out various tools in the field. Understanding about how your interests align with the plethora of tools in the world of IT. So suppose you want to get into software development, but you're not exactly want to get into directly into software development. You want to get into the cloud, the infrastructure, the servers, because you like handling all of that stuff. You want to make those changes because as a kid, you've experimented a lot with, your own computer, with your own proxy servers and those kind of things. So you want to get into that. So that's where you decide what kind of different tools are used for that. Do you want to get into DevOps? So there are different DevOps tools. So get acquainted with all of these different tools. So you need to search what kind of tools are there in the field that you are interested in. Then, once you've picked a domain, start understanding. Find out, you found out one of the domains that you're very interested in. You've tested out the pros and cons of the domain you're interested in. Now you need to start to learn about this particular domain. Learn about the tool that is being used in this domain. Once you've understood the basic fundamentals in this domain, once you've understood the tools that are used in this domain, and once you've done some kind of project or some kind of small, practice, then you can move forward towards trying to apply for a job and getting that job. Then, again, implementing solutions. So implementing solutions is basically problem solving, So, and tools and techniques, again, in the world of IT, their tool is everything almost. Tools can include languages, you have your integrated development environment, you have version control systems, so many things out there. All right, the last step here would be, let me just make sure. Yeah, so the last step here will be to get a certification. So if you're a person who's not had any background in computer science, who does not have any degree, or even a person who does not have any degree at all, it's all right. You can still get into software engineering. You have to get certified. Make sure that you have a lot of industry grade projects. So suppose I'll give you a benchmark, stick to this benchmark, these guys. Whoever does not have a certificate, who does not have a degree, stick to these benchmarks. Get certified, have at least five industry grade projects. They should be really good because out of these projects, you should be learning a lot of experience. Okay, now let me explain why do you need a certification and project if you don't have a good CS background or if you don't have any kind of degree. This is important because when an employer looks at your resume, they would need to see that you have some kind of knowledge. To figure out whether you have any knowledge, they look at the projects you have. And once they look at your projects, they'll ask you questions. And if you're able to answer, their questions, then they'll be like, okay, even though he does not have a CS degree, he has a very good understanding about these particular topics. So he'll be more readily, accepting of you than a person who has a CS degree but is not able to answer a single question on the projects that he's done and that are present on the CS. Because in the end, what do the employers want? The employers want someone who can solve their problems. So that's where you can have projects. And certification is also important, because certification gives you the employer some kind of guarantee that you have done something out there. You've done some kind of certification, so you have some kind of knowledge, you've passed some kind of test. That is also important. Okay, so let's just summarize it. First, you go for exploration, you do problem solving, check out the variety of tools, various domains, implement solutions, learn implementing solutions, check out the tools and techniques out there, check out the certification that you'll need, the projects you will need, and then you can go ahead and become a software engineer. All right, guys. So let me just give you a sample job descriptions. So you have Amazon. So in Amazon, you have this position of a software development engineer. So software development engineers working in Amazon earn a lot of money, but they have a lot of responsibilities also. So let's discuss them. So as you can see in the responsibility list here, the first one says that programming experience with at least one model language such as Java, C++, C#, including object-oriented design. So what is basically saying that you need to know either of these three languages and the object-oriented design factor of these languages, because you'll be working in that particular field, so you'll need that. And then it says bachelor's degree in computer science or related fields. Okay, so a disclaimer here: if a company does say bachelor's degree in computer science or related fields and you don't have it, it's all right, you just apply for it. If they look at what you've done, if you have some good projects, if they look at it, they still call you. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So send your resume everywhere, and eventually you'll find that one company that doesn't care about what kind of degree you have or what kind of certification you have. It'll see your knowledge, it'll test you on its skills. Then you see computer science fundamentals in object-oriented design. Again, it's talking about object-oriented design. That is part of all the languages you'll be working with, and the application you'll be working with, you'll have to design it using this particular concept. Then you have to be passionate about working across stack to build software that has high impact. So that is basically, you need to have a lot of passion to build the software, because they'll ask you to work a lot. And if you don't work properly, then they'll have to fire you. But if you're working really well, if you show a lot of passion in building software, then you're perfect for the job. You need to be adaptable, can quickly learn new concepts and technologies. So this again, if you're going as a fresher, you'll definitely start learning a lot of things on a new next level. They'll teach you a lot of new concepts and new technologies as you get in. They'll teach you if you're going into this particular field, they teach you this particular thing. If you're going to this particular field, they teach you this thing, etc., etc. Just have a reminder in your mind that if you're going for a job, they're just not going to make you work for Java and C++. There are a lot more things that they're going to be making you work on, a lot of different tools. And again, the last important point is the strong problem solving and debugging skills. So make sure that you're good at problem solving. Go to HackerRank, solve some problems, learn how to problem solve, etc. Then let's look at Walmart. So in Walmart also you have a few responsibilities. You have to manage small to large size complex projects. You have to have model compliance with company policies, procedures, support company missions, values. That is again, you have to do it normally with every company out there. You have to follow the company's standards of ethics and have integrity. You have to participate in discovery phase or small to medium sized project that is basically helping, they'll basically be asking you to come up with ideas and, help develop those ideas, increase the business profits, etc., go into a new market, etc. And let's just go directly to the last problem. That is what relates to us here most. Troubleshoots business and production issues, because troubleshooting is basically problem solving. So you need to be able to problem solve again, even in business aspects or production issues, etc. So guys, those were the sample job descriptions. But remember, these are one of the two top companies out there. You can always apply for a lot more companies. Alright guys, so that was sample job descriptions. Let's look at the average salary. The juicy part of becoming a software developer. You'll be earning a lot of money. Let me be honest, you seriously will be earning a lot of money. In America, even as a fresher, you can get around $100,000 per year. That's a six-figure salary. That is a lot of money. And once you get into a senior position, you'll be earning a lot, even a lot more. As you can see, there are a lot of figures I've given here. In America, you'll be earning around an average of $100,000, $120,000. In India, you'll be earning an average of 14 lakhs per annum. In the UK, you'll be earning $60,000. So all of these figures, they all come with a caveat. Basically, you'll get the salary that you deserve. If you can convince your employer that you deserve a lot more money, then you will get a lot more money. If you can show them you can take up a lot of responsibilities, then you will get that extra money. So these figures will depend from company to company. These are just averages, but industry standards are there, and then you have companies choosing to pay their employees more because they like their employees more. They want to pay them more so that the employees do more. And so this will depend again from country to country to company to company based on your skills, etc. So don't worry, any type of field you choose inside of software engineering, you'll be paid a lot. So make sure that the field you choose is the one that you like. All right, so final thoughts. All right, so the thought here says that the purpose of software engineering is to control complexity and not to create it. This goes back to the original point that I said, that software basically helps us to make things simple, make things more comfortable for us. It does not create more complexity. So make sure that make sure you take this as your and you're working as a software developer. Try to make things as simple as possible, and still keeping the same functionality. Try to make it simple, but still keep the functionality. Don't go so simple that the functionality just stops working. So that is an important thought here, guys. All right. So further learning. How can you learn all of this? So guys, we here at Intellipaat provide you many different resources that you can use. They are at your hand, on-demand services. You can just choose and search whatever you want. We have a very good channel. We produce a lot of professional content out there, not just for software engineering. We have for a lot of different particular fields also. Let me just start stating them. We have data science, we have machine learning, we have artificial intelligence, we have ethical hacking, cybersecurity, we have cloud computing, we have DevOps, we have Python development, Java, so many fields like SAP and business intelligence, and different fields inside of business intelligence, like how to become a business analyst, Oracle BI, you have your MSBI, Power BI, so many different things, so many different videos. Go ahead, subscribe so that you don't miss any of our videos. We release almost one video every day. So you will obviously find something to your interest. And again, if you already know about this, then you can choose our blogs. We have a lot of blogs also that you can view. And our blogs have a lot of content that will help you down. We have a lot of guides, a lot of instructions, cheat sheets that will help you in particular tools, technologies. And we have a very thriving community. Guys, you guys know Stack Overflow, right? Where people ask questions and answer. We have a community that is thriving as well. Go to Intellipaat/community and you can ask any type of question. Suppose you're stuck in a particular technology and you can't find an answer to it, even on Stack Overflow, then you can go straight to our community, type that question in, and somebody might answer a question, in a few days or, few hours, depends. So guys, an investment in knowledge always pays best interest. So how does this relate? So guys, we here at Intellipaat provide a lot of courses also. So for all of those out there who want to be instructed by people who have had industry experience, have had years of industry experience. Okay, so just go to our website, intellipaat.com. It's like Intellipaat.com, and you just type architect, and you'll find so many different fields of architects. You can, go into cloud. You can go into Amazon Web Services. That is AWS Solutions Architect. We have a lot of instructor-led training. We have 36 hours worth of it. If you don't like instructors, if you just want to go in your self-paced, then we have self-paced videos also. But remember, all of these courses that we provide, like AWS Master Architect, we have Data Science Master Architect, and we have Cloud and DevOps Architect, we have Database Masters, we have Azure Solutions Architect, Google Cloud Architect, we have DevOps Masters, we have Splunk Architect, we have Big Data Architect Master, Hadoop Architect, BI Architect Master, Test Architect. There are so many architecture solution courses that you can take. And in all of these courses, you will be taught by people who have had years of experience. If you have any doubts, you can get cleared. You can get it cleared by them. Have it made it easy for you. Buy our course, have a very smooth sailing from there. All right, guys. So that's going to be the end of the session. Now for all of those regular customers and all of those new people here, especially for the new people here, this is a surprise. We are offering YouTube 30 as a coupon code. If you type in this particular coupon code, when you're buying our courses, you will get a flat 30% off. So go there right now. You will get 30% off on all of our courses. Can you imagine 30% off? That's a lot of money you'll be saving for you, and you're investing a lot of money for your future. You'll be making your career. Okay. All right, guys. So I hope that helped you a lot. I hope I've given you some kind of vision that you can use to further your career. Now I'm going to end the session, but I'll leave you with our contact details. We have Indian phone number, US phone number, all toll free. Then we have, if you want to write us a mail, then you can write us to at sales@intellipaat.com, or you can chat with our career advisors. If you guys are still not convinced to become a software engineer, you can go ahead and call us and ask for career counseling. We provide free career counseling also, and we will help you decide what's best for your future. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next live.